Hey guys, this is Mike. Thanks for watching. Meet a friend of mine, Niki. She wants to become the first woman with a prosthetic leg to sail around the world. I think she has a legit shot to do it. Take a look at this video. Niki doesn't know how to edit. She's an athlete, so she dumped this hour's worth of video on me and asked me to condense it as much as I could into something that could tell her story. Please consider supporting her. She became known as the Bionic Woman when she hiked the Appalachian Trail with only one leg. And now she wants to buy a boat, name it the Bionic Gypsy, and sail around the world. Here's her route. She wants to leave Fort Lauderdale, sail westward, sail all the way around the world, returning back to Fort Lauderdale. Please support her. Think about it. It's a really cool story. It's a great story for anyone who is struggling, suffering, or has met with tremendous trauma or adversity and is trying to make a comeback. Take a look.
Today, we are thrilled to have a chance to interview an amazing lady. Back in 2013, Niki Rellon fell 45 feet from the side of a Utah mountain, and it's amazing that she survived. The accident took her lower left leg and broke her pelvis and her spine. But not only did Niki rebound from her injury, she decided that walking the entire Appalachian Trail would be a great way to rehab with her prosthetic leg. She ended up writing a book about it called Push On, My Walk to Recovery on the Appalachian Trail.
Hey guys, I'm in Denver, Colorado with my gypsy wagon. You see all my stuff on a carry-on. I'm right now with Michael, who is actually doing the interview.
What makes you think you're capable of sailing around the world?
I already hiked the Appalachian Trail. I already bicycled across the country. I also hiked the Pacific Crest Trail in 2006 with 2 legs. And that's a long distance trail as well. And I think there's only 1% out of the planet who actually had that ability. I already have the proof that I can do whatever I decide I want to do, and I definitely would like to show off right now with the small percentage of female captains out there that I can actually have a male crew on my boat, because male captains, there are 99% out there. So the universe gave me another chance to not get killed at 2015 when I free fall, 2013 November 1st when I free fall 45 feet off the canyon wall, meaning right now I still have like a cat who has 9 lives. I killed myself a couple times previously with being a triathlete in a bicycle accident. I already broke my neck and my back when I was a teenager back in Germany. I worked as a deckhand on a bounty on a tall ship, like 8,000 nautical sea miles behind my belt. So right now I'm excited that I can become my own captain, because I'm heading right now to Georgia, where I'm looking right now for sailboats. I already had 1 sailboat on hand in Virgin Islands, and right now they bailed out on me. I had just recently flight booked down to Virgin Islands to purchasing that boat down there, but then they eliminated the title, or whatever reason they decided not to sell me the boat anymore. So I decided to heading to Georgia, and looking from there on, I think I'm pretty close to purchasing a boat the next couple of weeks from now on.
How do you deal with the judgment of others?
Whatever you want to do, you have to do it. You have to start believing yourself, because if you're doing something for someone else and not for yourself, you have to live with that decision for the rest of your life. As I proved all the doctors wrong, because the doctors told me after my leg amputation I never be able to walk again unsupported, besides on crutches or on a cane. So guess what? Yeah, I would like to see myself by flipping the finger again and make some captains to think about what they said to me. In 2015 I was free falling off a canyon wall. I mean, 45 feet, unlikely to survive, but guess what? Devil was not ready for me by that point. So I did survive. Guess what? 40 months later, I pulled a record as the first female hike the entire length of the Appalachian Trail. Of course, all the doctors told me I never can walk again. I will the rest of my life on a cane or on crutches, or even that crazy wheelchair on top of it. They just gave me that wheelchair after my accident and said to have a nice life living in a wheelchair. Then I went for rehabilitation back to Germany, because I was that broke, and of course my parents want to support me, but not really idealistically for myself, because they told me I have to go back to school and learning a desk job. So a desk job, being a triathlete, being a professional athlete and all this accomplishment, doing physical stuff, I definitely could not see myself working the rest of my life behind a desk. So I also proved my parents wrong. And of course, my friends thought about hiking 2,200 miles just 40 months later. Definitely not a good idea. I did long distance bicycling pretty much all over Europe as well. I bicycled from Alaska down to Mexico City. I bicycled across the country with 2 legs 3 times and then with a prosthetic leg the 4th time. I also hiked long distance, both coastlines up and down. So what I was trying to say, I saw pretty much everything in the United States, and I was in all 50 states. I did work on an American cruise ship, so I sailed all the way down to Casablanca and all the way up north to St. Petersburg, Russia. I was a professional athlete back in Germany. I did professional kickboxing and boxing, so I learned great life lessons about for example, losing a competition. It's actually way better by losing a competition, because then you see who's really supporting you, who stands still in your corner and is still claps in the hands and want to go ongoing walk the walk with you. So I learned that already as a teenager about to not to trust to everybody, to trust more what you're able to pull off and not getting too much influenced by society and by all the influences where we have to deal every day, especially with social media.
And why a Maine Coon cat? Why is that a good fit for you and a good fit for the sailboat?
Well, I gave up on that romantic idea that I can fall in love with a single guy, especially if I'm purchasing my own boat and then having a boyfriend with me. I think he would be not satisfied with that idea that I have this boat purchased on my own and it's not being together purchased. So I feel like the Maine Coon cat doesn't less complaints. I mean, they have unconditional love, but I don't believe with unconditional love with a boyfriend. Well, I mean, it can get rough in open water, and having a relationship and starting into a fight in very crazy situations, I guess my cat is definitely better to deal with than maybe a guy who has an ego problem. You can see my baby Maine Coon cat growing up with me, and then I will teach how a cat like how to swim, because they like to swim anyway. So in the beginning a little bit of water spray, and then eventually swimming with me in the open water. Will be single-handed, so everything is on my own, and I'll be responsible for my boat, meaning I will starting learning how my boat is wired with the electricity, the plumbing, because on open water you have to know how to deal with all that stuff.
Is part of your existence just a big middle finger to the world?
Well, I guess after the devil didn't accept me down under and I free fall 45 feet off a canyon wall, I guess I like to be a little bit more provocative, and actually I like to show this kind of picture painting you just throw at me with the middle finger. About 99% of the captains out there are male captains, and being one of the few 1% female captains. So because all the 8 voyages, the 7,000 nautical sea miles right now I have behind me, and every single captain I said to them, because I already have that in mind.
What will you need Patreon sponsors for?
A water maker, so I can make them salt water, fresh drinking water. And water makers like that are really expensive. Another thing what I like to see on my boat is solar panels, to be independent, to make choose at any given time. So of course at night the sun is not shining, so wind turbine, so you can make ongoing wind 24/7 every single day, so you can get your batteries load up. Batteries, I would like to replace the battery eventually with lithium batteries. Lithium batteries are very expensive, but it takes the half a size or even less than half a size, and they're way more efficient. So that's another item who are actually expensive, but you don't have to replace them in the long run. They're actually made cheaper. Painting it pink to stick out of everybody else's boat, because most boats are white, and so I already have a good starting point. Starting people want to talk about my pink boat. The decal on the boat will be then similar to my Grateful Dead decal, because that's the skeleton. It reminds me when I free fall 45 feet of a canyon wall, that I would look like that, like a skeleton. So the skeleton will be painted on the side of the boat, and the name you mentioned is the Bionic Gypsy, because when I hiked the Appalachian Trail, they gave me the trail name, because when you're hiking long distance, you're not walking anymore under your real name. People give you a name. And My given name on the Appalachian Trail was the Bionic Woman, so here we go. I'm the Bionic Woman, and my sailboat is the Bionic Gypsy.
It was November 1st, 2013. Niki Rellon was in Lake Powell, Utah, canyoneering with a group of friends. Before the trip, her rappelling gear got mixed up with the group's.
Usually I would check it the night before, but I did not check the harness, and that's the reason I was put together in the wrong order.
A near-fatal mistake. A synthetic loop instead of a metal loop was all that held her 150 feet in the air as she rappelled off a canyon wall.
And I came off the last remaining 45 feet when I completely got snapped out of that synthetic loop. And it was amazing that a synthetic loop holded me up for that long time. I tell people that I was not likely to survive 45 feet.
Rellon broke her pelvis, her ribs, punctured a lung, and shattered her left tibia. It took 8 hours to get the critically injured Rellon to a hospital.
That's another miracle right there that I was able to survive.
Doctors had to amputate her leg below the left knee. She returned to her native Germany for rehab, and while there, she eventually grew bored going to the gym.
I don't like routines.
That's when the avid hiker got the idea to hike the 2,300-mile Appalachian Trail as a way to continue her recovery.
So I knew I have to force myself to go quick, way faster, better, by just convincing myself that I have to hike every day.
Okay, among the many things that have originated here in the Bay Area, the area is a mecca for cycling. It's where the sport of mountain biking was born.
And it was the launching point for an amazing undertaking by a 45-year-old amputee. Garvin Thomas is here with her first-of-a-kind journey and her story in tonight's Bay Area Proud. Garvin.
Janelle, Raj, 3 years ago, Niki Rellon walked the entire length of the Appalachian Trail on a prosthetic leg. It took her 9 months. The only thing harder than that, she says, was writing a book about it. The only thing harder than that, she says, was marketing the book, which brings us to Fairfax this past Sunday.
I like to push my limits. I like to feel like I have a good workout.
Niki has worked out in the past as a kickboxer, triathlete, and ski instructor.
I free fall 45 feet.
But on a canyoneering trip in Utah 5 years ago, she fell off a cliff face and broke much of her body.
I had to wait 6 hours before finally the paramedic arrived with a broken pelvis, a broken spine. All my ribs were broken, sternum were broken.
And practice rides on a custom-built bike, Niki feels she is ready to once again show the rest of us what limits look like when
she's doing this unsupported, which means there's no vehicle with her,
no corporate sponsors or anything.
She carries her camping gear, she's going to camp and cook, and there's no vehicle helping her, there's nobody helping her along the way. This is entirely done. Now, if you'd like to ride with her for a few miles or put her up for a night, she's more than happy to do that. I'm going to post the website that tracks her journey on my Facebook page, Garvin Thomas. And then if you know if somebody wants to ride a couple days with her or treat her to a meal, she'd certainly be happy.
And when did she leave again, or has she already departed?
She has already departed, heading down the West Coast and hanging a left and heading to Florida.
It would be an inspirational ride, so join her.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks, Garvin.
Thanks, Garvin.
What benefit do you want people to get from this book?
This book encourages you, if you have severe pain, you have to accept the pain. Pain becomes your friend. If you fight the pain will always win. Don't take the shortcut by thinking about you cheat the pain by taking a pain medication. I learned that as well. I had so many times tears in my eyes, and you're just pushing through, and then the tears become joy tears, because when you're coming over the finish line, when you're hiking the entire length of the Appalachian Trail, this is more joy than nobody can take away from you ever again.
Yeah, that's right. That is absolutely right. Now,
I like that you picture in your mind a gift. Before I show you what is inside, I will tell you it will do incredible things for you. Like you will reconnect with friends and family you haven't heard in years. It will recalibrate in life what is most important. It will redefine your sense of spirituality and faith. You have a new understanding and trust in your body. You will be challenged, inspired, motivated, and humbled. Your life will have a new meaning. My leg below the knee was missing, but I'm okay now. I would not wish that gift for you, but I wouldn't change my experience. It profoundly altered my life in ways I didn't expect it. Next time you're faced with something that is unexpected, unwanted, and uncertain, consider that it's just maybe a gift.